Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, depending where you are. Today I'm here with Tanya. She's a product marketing manager, and I'm so happy to have her here with me because I met her 1 year ago in Lisbon. Hello, Tanya. How are you?
Hi. Good, you?
Really good. Really nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. A long time.
A completely different atmosphere. So from where we met in Lisbon.
Yeah, I agree. It was a huge crowd, lot of interaction, and now we all like sit at home and can see each other only online.
Yeah, completely different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm here today with Tanya. We are going to talk about how to create a content calendar because it's something that everyone in communication needs to do, but it's really not difficult, but complex to do and more to implement it. But before, Tanya, can you tell us a little about yourself, about your background and everything so that
Yeah,
people know?
yeah. So I'm in marketing from the beginning, and the first part of my career, I was working in the international digital agency, and I covered projects from various industries, like telecom and FMCG. And over the last 6 years, I moved into tech. I work also with a digital agency, but this digital agency is concentrated on the pharmaceutical industry, and we create a multi-channel strategy for pharma companies, various tools and digital solutions.
Okay, really interesting. And let's start. What do you think is the best way to create a content plan that works?
Yeah. So what we can say that every marketer over their professional career, they read a lot, they learn a lot and try to implement different tools. And each of us, we create our own approach, how we work with a
Hmm.
content plan. So I think that it would be nice to tell how I create this and what I
Yeah.
usually do. So when I look at the annual content plan creation, the first thing I do, I try to define the key pillars, like a base of my annual content plan. So it might be some events or something that you should have over your year independently on your strategy and stuff like that. Or
Hmm.
maybe some important webinars, whatever. So first I add these pillars to the content plan and see how my year gonna look like. And of course, like with experience of the previous years and events like that, I know that, let's say, the preparation for the particular event gonna take 1 month before the event and then 2 weeks after the event.
Hmm.
So I book this time in the content calendar. The
Yes.
same with the webinar, like I should start preparing 2 months before the webinar. So I book this time and follow-up campaign. So when you finalize this basic structure, so you might have like a 6 months of already content plan booked. The
Yes.
second step is like to look at your strategical goals for the next year and to think what activities you should include to achieve those strategical goals. And then you start like brainstorming and adding everything you would like to have. And in this
Hmm.
part, I usually let myself go completely and I add everything that I would like to create over the year. And the third, it's a bit sad part, because now you should take a look at the content plan and to think realistically what you can do from all the list and all the different content pieces that you created.
Hmm.
Because it's not like you work on your own. It's like a team of the designers who should support you in that. It's like strategy team, it's copywriters, it's social media managers. And then it's literally like almost to calculate how many time does it take to create an ebook or like to content for the webinar. And you should think, will you be able to launch 10 webinars per year?
Hmm.
Or like, will you be able to create 5 ebooks per year? So this way, with this like precise calculation, you can more or less navigate this content plan to the final version. And of course, I never like throw away this second part when I brainstormed all of the ideas. I keep it just in case, because sometimes you have some free time in the creative department or in other part of your organization, and you just like bring this content from the list number 2 that you wanted to create, and this way you're gonna have more.
Interesting. Really interesting, Tanya. And then, what are the main advantages, you think, of creating the calendar?
Yeah, well, the main advantage to have the job done. Because, without this, it would be impossible just to work over the year. And of course, the main advantage to achieve your goals, your strategical goals that you have for the next year. So, yeah, this is it.
Okay, yeah, it's important. And the first thing you need to take into account when you create the calendar, how do you start? How do you do the first steps?
Yeah. So, the
When
first
you start from
step.
zero, for example, now you say before, sorry, that you have a company that you are working many years, but if you want to start from zero, for example, someone that is new,
If you want to start from the scratch, you mean?
yes.
Yeah, so then if let's say if you have your own company or small agency, yeah, or your new business, and you want to, I don't know, spread the word about what you're doing, uh, the best approach would be not to start with a content calendar, but to start with your go-to-market plan. It's really good if you have it. Then
Mhm.
from the goals that you have in your go-to-market plan, you should start building your content plan and think about the tools which allows you to reach your goals. But if you don't have go-to-market plan, so better start creating it. And only after this, you should start thinking about content, pieces, channels, and stuff like that.
Okay. And why do you think it's that important to give a structure when communicating with your audience?
Yeah, so with the structure, I want to clarify. Do you mean like a structure of the articles, of the ebooks,
Yeah.
of the
Well,
structure of the
with
content?
all the structure for the communication, when you are going to communicate, that you cannot say, for example, this week I'm going to do a post, and next week, let's start creating an iBook. So the structure with everything. So why you need to plan in advance and to have
Yeah,
a structure, the communication with your
yeah,
audience.
yeah, that's a really good question. So with the structure, let's think in terms of customer's journey, because it's not to create some content piece that's gonna stand by its own. So it's not just a social media post that you post or an ebook that you publish or a webinar. It all should be combined in the efficient customer journey, which nurtures your lead further the funnel and allows you to build deeper communication and interaction with them. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, there are many things to think about when you create a plan of communication.
Indeed.
And do you pay attention to the same aspects with all the customers, or what do you do different? What do you have into
Yeah.
account depending the customer?
Yeah. So if you create a content plan, let's say that you are responsible for several products
Hmm.
or like for, I don't know, whatever in your company. Of course, you have like a different buyer personas for each
Hmm.
of those. And you should create a different content plan for each of the buyer persona with a different customer journey, with the different key messages. But another thing to look at this is like a different cultures, different
Hmm.
mentality, and different
Yes,
countries,
yes,
because
exactly.
it's totally different the perception, the channel that people like. So can I tell you about the example that I saw over this COVID situation with the difference in
Hmm.
mentality? So when all this COVID pandemic happened, the pharmaceutical industry, because I'm talking about the industry I work in, they had to go to the digital channels overnight. And what happened with different regions? So Western Europe, they were more like digital mature, they had better tools and platforms, the companies were more prepared. So they went into the digital engagement via laptop, via Viva Engage and Zoom and different platforms. So they interact with their audience like me and you.
Hmm.
But the Eastern Europe, due to maybe less, I don't know, things they knew about the digital tools and the project, they went in the totally different directions. So this company,
Hmm.
they use mainly messengers to communicate with their audience. They try to do this like PC communication,
Hmm.
online call, stuff like that. But it appears that audience in Eastern Europe, they like the messengers better, they interact better in WhatsApp, in Viber, and stuff like that. But I'm sure that with you working for two countries, you can also tell lots of interesting things about the differences with this.
Yeah, there are many differences, and not only the countries, but also the age. So the people in the same age in different countries, they communicate completely different, and the different depending also the economical situation. So there are many aspects that you need to think about because, yeah, for example, yeah, with the teenagers, they communicate completely different in the Netherlands than in Spain, for example. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's completely different. And also, I have projects in other countries, and the targets, if you just look, the main aspects of the target, they look the same, but the way they communicate is completely different. So yes,
So
you're
you
right.
so you have to adjust to every country you work with.
Yeah. Well, I mainly communicate for in general in a same aspect for everyone. But then if you want to do a project with one country, then you have to adapt because
Yeah.
otherwise you don't reach the people.
Well,
Not
you're
that,
gonna have a great multicultural experience, so it's gonna be really easy for you to launch a project all over the world. Like,
well,
just show me the country.
well that will be great. That will be really nice. But no, because every project is completely different with different products. So then it's different. But yeah, it's true. You have to adapt for each project. You have to do to test who they are and who what characteristics they have.
Yeah, that's so interesting, very exciting.
Yeah, it's completely different, but it's nice. It's interesting. You learn. You every time you are learning from people.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really great experience to have.
Yeah. And some people, what this is one thing that I'm always really curious about because I know a lot of people that they are starting and they create the calendar, they have the communication strategy, they have everything, and then they don't use it. They don't follow it. So I don't know if you have seen that also.
Yeah, yeah, that's the situation that we all like see sooner or later in our team that you might create something really nice and you might be really excited about it, but it's not going to be lunch or some part of it not going to be working. So, yeah, I've been thinking about that too. And of course, like the easiest thing to assume is just think that people just lazy
Yeah.
and they don't want to do some work and stuff like that. But not let's not go into this like negative thinking because if you work as you said you have lots of intercultural projects the same with the companies. Most of the company they have people from different countries
Mhm.
with different mentality. They were raised in different environment, and
Mhm.
maybe for some people, like say from the people from Eastern Europe, we got used to multitask and to work really fast. The Western Europe to multitask is not an option. They are not really nice with that, and maybe they think that better not to spread everything like at once. If we look at the US, they work even from hospitals. So they lay in the hospital bed and they respond into their emails. So I think that we should consider these like cultural differences and maybe have more open conversations with our colleagues and to understand what are the motivations or maybe not a motivation and to find some solution that can work for everyone.
Yeah, because this is something that I see very often. And I was curious about your opinion about what you think this happened because, yeah, it's something really common. It's like, okay, let's create the material and then it's there.
Well, the good thing to have, and it should be like voluntarily. So it's always nice to have in teams some person who gonna be dedicated in controlling for
Yes.
other team members to stick to the plan. It's not always easy. The rest of the team usually don't like this person at all. They think it's really annoying, but still somebody should take this burden on the
The lead.
shoulders and carry it on. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's good when you continue when you find the people that they do it and they follow it and you see the
Yeah.
results, then it's really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, Yeah, it's really a pleasure to do. And you know, I don't know how to call it properly, but the maybe tips and treat that I did with some teams that, for example, don't make person to think that he or she is doing some small task. Always better to explain that this small task, like a post on the social media or a webinar or an article, they lead and they help the much bigger purpose. And this way, people understand that all these small tasks they do, they lead to some greater and bigger result.
Yeah, this is really important because it's the whole.
Yeah,
It's the plan.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that helps. It's true to make involve the people. And yeah, and what do you think are the best practices for content planning?
Yeah, so with the best practices, you know, there are such like lots of different cool influences out there, lots of cool accounts and pages, and I like the idea that there is no need to invent the wheel.
Yes.
Just go and learn from the best. Like, for example, there is a great influencer, Tamara McLeary, and she has great pages on Twitter and LinkedIn. So the best option is just go and try to copy, learn from her, but then in time you will find your own voice. You will understand what contents works personally for you. The same is a great influencer, Selena Rizvani. She's doing an amazing LinkedIn live talks. So
Oh, that's
this
good.
is just like an open book, like a guide. Just go watch it and learn from it.
Yeah, that's really good. What you say. Yeah, you don't need to invent anything. Everything is not everything, but almost everything is created.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
These are really good things. We have a question in in
Oh,
the in the chat. Yes, it say, is there any recommendations for a content planning platform, or just use a notepad?
well, like each company they should choose like what works best for them. If it's like a big company like company I work in, we use HubSpot. Yeah,
Hmm.
so it's like a marketing automation, and like almost everything is automated in there. You can create a content, you can see which content works or not. If we talk about some small company, or maybe if you're an entrepreneur and you want to create your content plan, I would suggest using Buffer, because you can create a three free accounts in there, so you can connect 3 social media platforms, and for the beginner that's more than enough, because to support and to create a content for the 3 different pages, that's already a lot of work to do.
Yes.
So tools like that here, they are free and you can use them.
Okay, that's really good. We don't have any more questions. Maybe later, someone.
Well, that
So
was really nice to have one. I
yeah,
hope
yes,
my
yeah, it's very
response
nice.
helped a lot.
Yeah, it's really important. It's a question that everyone does also. So it's good. And also, you need also to choose what are the best platforms for yourself. Like we say before, that it depends the country, the target, the kind of people.
Yeah,
This is really
yeah,
important.
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah. So, would you like to say anything else to add? Maybe something that you think that is really important for the people to think about.
Um, well, it's even if you work with some company, with some brand, it's always important to add some personal voice and personal tone to the communication you're doing, because if you add this personal touch, it's going to be more interesting for you to work. And still, even if we think that it just a piece of content that lives out there, somehow people feel the soul. And
Hmm.
if you create something with your soul and with a really nice emotion, it works better and it brings joy to the audience with whom you share and all that, and to you as well. And nowadays, like to have this better motivation and to like doing what you do is really important.
Yes. Yes. And now more that we have to be at home most of the time.
Yeah, Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe I can ask you a question about your
Okay.
recent projects. Because I saw on LinkedIn that you have a new project coming. So
Yes.
it would be really interesting to hear what it's gonna be.
Yes. We are launching in January. Well, we are starting in Spain.
Wow.
Yes, we are starting in Spain, but then we want to grow worldwide. Maybe you want to be part of it, Tanya.
Oh, I would love to. So tell more about this. So
It's called
what's
Together
gonna
is
be?
Better. So it's a platform for diversity and inclusion, but we want to work not only with gender inclusion, but also with race, with identities, with everything. So because it's not, we don't have different groups for it. We don't need to have only different groups. We can work all together. So we would like to collaborate with different associations. For example, there is a really good marketing association for Black people in US. They are doing really
Wow.
good things, but it's for Black people. So I
Yeah.
like what they do, and I'm not Black. I'm there, but not everyone feel comfortable going to a place that is only for one kind of person. So sometimes there
Yeah.
are groups for women, and a man can like what they do, but maybe they don't feel comfortable going in. So we want to go together, men and women. So the founders, we
Yeah.
are two men and two women, and we
Yeah.
have people with kids, divorced, singles, we have everything. So we want to be
Yeah.
diverse ourselves and to work with diverse associations and to help all the people to feel included, to make it normal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a great idea, and I wish you good luck with that. I
Oh,
hope it
thank you.
works. But remember, even at our first dinner in Lisbon, even we had this woman in tech dinner. We
Yeah, it's
had
true.
a charming man from France who
Yeah, it's
said that
true.
it doesn't
Yeah,
matter that this is a woman in tech dinner.
yeah, of course. It
He
was
was
really
just
nice.
yeah, he just wanted to participate. Yeah, so that's really nice. Yeah, really interesting. And will you have some platform? Or will it be like a portal, or how it's gonna look like?
Yeah, we are still building everything. We want to have a platform, but also we want to work with companies and also with education because we think it's
Right.
really important to the young people also to be diverse since the beginning, not to have the problems we have now, to try to make it
Yeah.
normal before. So we are still building and creating agreements with companies and with educational systems.
So that's really nice. So would
Yes,
it
I'm
will
really
be like
excited.
yeah. So will it be like a free platform, and then every person can join it and like add something to it?
Yeah, we are doing it like an association in Spain.
Yeah.
So we are going to start in Spain and then grow to the rest of the countries because all the team except me are in Spain. so,
Yeah. Well,
so
I
we are
know
starting
that the
there.
second country obviously gonna be Netherlands.
Well, you never know. you never know because we have people interested in other different countries. So you never know.
Wow,
But we
that's
know
really
for sure that
exciting.
we are going to start in Spain.
That's really nice. I
And
wish you
then
good
I will
luck
let you
with
know
this.
when we start growing.
Yeah, yeah, it would be amazing. I'm ready to step in.
Oh, that's great, Tanya. Let's talk.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you very much, Tanya, for being here with me today. It was really nice talking to
It
you and learning
it
from
was
you.
really nice, yeah, to have the chat, and thank you for inviting me. It was a really pleasant time.
It was a pleasure, Tanya.
Thank
Have a
you,
nice
thank
evening
you.
and take care.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.